One of the reasons why I love Layne is his ability to counter an argument as well as Floyd Mayweather counters in the ring.
Well, that's nice to know. What else, Spencer?
His channel is worth subscribing to just to see him absolutely destroy gurus in the fitness world who are spreading non-truths to their communities.
I would disagree, as Layne's point of view is very basic at best, and he runs away from any real nutrition debate, but we'll get into that in a sec. For those of you who are not aware of who Layne Norton is, well, he's a fitness personality on YouTube. He'll remind you about every 10 minutes of his PhD if you didn't catch it the first 15 or 20 times he told you within meeting him. And he has natural tendencies to drift into the topics of nutrition on a regular basis. He likes to debunk idiots and usually always picks on the lowest hanging fruit like low carbers and carnivore dimwits to try to debunk with some of his YouTube videos. Now, Spencer Cornelia, on the other hand, runs a channel that primarily focuses on debunking fake financial gurus and giving relatively solid financial advice. So nothing against him there. So why is Spencer drifting into fitness, or at least talking about fitness, and Layne Norton at the same time? I guess it's because of all these fake fitness personalities that are in the industry, and he seems to like to call the bullshit when he sees it, and he also seems to like the approach that Layne Norton uses. With that said, Layne Norton likes to call out the obvious scammers on the internet and Twitter and Instagram and whatnot, but as I previously stated, he's basic and he uses generalized statements at times like the one Spencer shows in this video. Here it is.
By the way, there's always an element of conspiracy to these people's claims. It's the same playbook, and it's funny. If you look at plant-based people, plant-based zealots, they use the same sort of logic insofar as, oh, there's this deep, dark secret that the government doesn't want you to know about, and that industry has paid off all these people. And then also the low carbohydrate people use the same thing. So it's pretty interesting that they're on opposing sides and literally use the same arguments.
Actually, there is proof the animal agriculture industry is propped up by government subsidies by the billions, or at least as of 2010. I'm sure it's grown since then, with billions of dollars going directly towards animal agriculture business like livestock and dairy program subsidies, or animal feed like corn, wheat, soybeans, sorghum, and barley. If you're an American, your tax dollars are hard at work going towards this, so that this is possible, which inevitably goes to this, so that people can have more of this, which will then further the chances of this. Outstanding. Now, whether those agriculture businesses are in the pockets of policymakers, I have no idea, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were, but I do know they make bogus studies to push their narrative to convince the people, or convince you, to buy their products. I've already made a video on how animal agriculture businesses will fund their own studies and design those studies to make the stolen parts and secretions they steal from animals seem perfectly healthy and essential for human health. They're really freaking stupid, but if you know anything about nutrition, you'll be able to decipher through them. Anyone who has done any type of nutrition research will come across countless studies from industry trying to exonerate their product. And as I said, Layne Norton uses generalized statements like the one he just used, talking about plant-based zealots and how they talk about this conspiracy. What plant-based zealots are saying this? I actually asked him specifically about another occurrence where he stated something very similar to this.
The carnivore diet was nothing more than an example of reactionary culture to pushy, holier-than-thou vegans, which has now taken on a complete life of its own, infused with charlatans, idiots, and sadly, desperate people who don't know any better and will believe anything.
Who are these plant-based zealots preaching there is a massive conspiracy, and who are these holier-than-thou vegans? You see, if you ask me, I think these are just tactics Layne uses to further ingrain in his own belief that everyone else but himself, and anyone who doesn't think like he does, is just some type of indoctrinated idiot. Which is fine. He can have that stupid opinion. I think he just needs to be more specific when he is at least addressing these plant-based zealots or holier-than-thou vegans. I mean, I just want to know, who are these plant-based zealots specifically? I want names. Wouldn't you want names? But let's be honest here, guys. He doesn't have the balls to do it because he knows he's going to be exposed as an idiot if he ever does debate anyone who understands the basics of human nutrition, or if he's down to even talk about being ethically consistent with his own values.
Layne graduated from Eckerd College with a degree in biochemistry and received his PhD in nutritional sciences from the University of Illinois. As far as I know, he's been in the lab researching any and all angles of nutrition for years and how the body responds to specific stimuli.
As far as Spencer knows, Layne has been in the lab researching any and all angles of nutrition for years. Wow. It's funny to see Spencer bring up how Layne has been studying in the lab for years, and yet he doesn't even understand the basics of healthy nutrition or even cholesterol for that matter. If Layne has spent so many years in the lab studying any and all angles of nutrition, then why is his cholesterol sky high? Why does he say it's okay to eat eggs and animal products when the IOM clearly states any consumption of trans fat, saturated fat, and cholesterol above 0% of calories increases LDL cholesterol, which is a causal link to cardiovascular disease, and it is also associated with other chronic diseases. Is that somebody who seems well-read and well-versed on the topic of nutrition? Now, I'm not saying to completely cut saturated fat out of an individual's eating pattern, as that is almost impossible even following a low-fat, whole food, plant-based diet, but it would be within the best interest of an individual's health to avoid saturated fat as much as possible. Trans fat and cholesterol, on the other hand, are easily avoided. All you have to do is just stop eating animals. But I wouldn't expect Spencer to know that, as it seems Layne tickles his fancy, and he seems to just be going along with what Layne says.
Any question you can think of to ask regarding nutrition, training, bodybuilding, current diet trends, everything has been answered by Layne in some form of media online today.
So Layne has answered any question in regards to training, nutrition trends. Everything has been answered by Layne Norton on some form of social media today, according to Spencer. Wow. Layne must have some super saggy nuts for Spencer to hang on to, because he has clearly propped them up on the world's tallest pedestal. And them nuts must sag pretty damn low for Spencer to hold on to, if you ask me, because that's a bold statement. So Layne has covered every nutrition topic. Really? Then why hasn't he publicly debated a nutrition expert or even anyone who understands nutrition beyond the concept of energy balance and macronutrient requirements? I'll answer it for you. It's because he's a pussy.
In addition to his research in a lab, he has also trained thousands of people through his online training programs and indirectly from his content throughout the years. He certainly has enough data now to know how to solve basically any issue with nutrition and fitness.
Layne has enough data to basically solve any issue with nutrition and fitness. Right. Does he have enough data on how to prevent cardiovascular disease, cerebral vascular disease, and diabetes? You see, when dealing with science, there's this thing called the hierarchy of evidence, and it seems here this expert Spencer's praising at an unusually high rate must be justifiable because Layne talks about science, so therefore expert opinion should be right at the top. Now, I'm not saying everything Layne says is incorrect. I'm just saying his information is very basic, and when he is challenged about true nutrition, such as preventing chronic disease and what a healthy diet really is, he flakes out.
One thing that's ridiculously unhelpful in the fitness community is how many influencers or product sellers try to pigeonhole every single person into a specific diet. They're financially incentivized to get you to buy into what they're selling. With social media, trends in the diet and fitness space can take off like wildfire. The Game Changers is a great example of this. The documentary on Netflix became a smash hit, and immediately 20% of the country wanted to become vegan. With these trends, the immediate response is for people to believe the hype and spend the next 3 weeks on that diet while promoting their new lifestyle change all over their social media. What I like about Layne is that he is one of the few in the fitness industry who understands that the only diet that works is the one that someone will follow.
There's never going to be one diet that just fixes all of our problems. It depends on the individual and what they're trying to get out of it.
Oh no. Here we go. The snowflake within Spencer is coming out.
It doesn't matter if the selected diet is carnivore, vegan, bodybuilder, if it fits your macros, or South Beach diet. He preaches that as long as you are reaching your goals and can stick with the chosen diet, then it's the right diet for you.
And that right there is what is wrong when supposed experts start talking about health and nutrition. You see, it doesn't matter what eating pattern you follow as long as it works for you. That's all that matters. Everybody here is a special snowflake. And since we're all snowflakes here, I'm just going to go ahead and just let it out here. I'm going to let everyone know about my new diet. And it's amazing and it works great for me because all I do is eat dog flesh for all my meals. It's called the Don't Judge Me, You Hypocritical Fool diet. Oh, did I pinch a nerve? Ah, well, sometimes you have to get nasty to give perspective to those who are unwilling to face the truth. The truth of the matter is there is a species-specific diet for the human race. Humans are not designed to eat animal flesh or what they secrete, especially with the amounts that people do eat them today, and especially with the populations residing within first world nations like the one Spencer and Layne Norton reside in. Just to keep it simple, how could anyone justify eating animal flesh and animal secretions when animal flesh and animal secretions all have cholesterol? The human body creates all the cholesterol it needs, so why would anyone have to eat any more of it, especially when dietary cholesterol has been shown to raise serum cholesterol levels? How can anyone vindicate a diet that incorporates loads of saturated fat just because it works for them? Oh, that's right. You just have to say it works for you. Therefore, any type of long-term sickness that is building up within the body of a person is perfectly normal. That's right. Just go ahead and ask Randy Couture, Bob Harper, John Meadows. Hell, let's go ahead and throw Bernie Sanders in the mix as well, too. They can all tell you how great their diet worked for them. And don't get me started on this guy. God rest his soul. And I swear, if anyone brings up genetics, I'm going to blow a gasket. So take it easy there with your cop-outs. I'm just not in the mood. I will say, there was supposed to be some type of debate between Dr. Garth Davis and Layne Norton, but Layne wanted to do it in person apparently, but I don't know if it even really happened, and if it did, if there was any type of camera there, or if there was any type of recording of it, because I couldn't find anything of it on the internet. And you know what? Good for Layne, because I'm sure if this did happen, Dr. Garth Davis probably would have embarrassed him if the debate ever did happen. Check out the link above from Red Pill Vegan. He was the one tracking this back and forth between Layne Norton and Dr. Garth Davis on Twitter. Also, make sure to check out Garth Davis's response to Layne Norton in regards to his debunking of the Game Changers documentary. And just to throw this in there so that everyone, and even Spencer knows, since he's into finances and investing and whatnot, Layne Norton actually tried to sue what I consider the human manifestation of herpes, Jason Blaha.
So anyway, Blaha made all these big statements about, he dressed up in Spartan attire and said he was going to war. And he said he was going to rape me in court. There's screenshots of all this.
He said he's going to what?
He was going to rape me in court. Oh. That he was glad I sued him because now he'd win all this money.
He's not physically there for a second? Yeah. I'm going to fucking rape Layne when I get there.
So he didn't even fucking show up.
To court.
He didn't show up.
Oh my god.
No.
Now how much money are you into this? Because now you did cease and desist. Now you had fucking court, so I know fees are starting to pile up.
Over 6 figures.
Wow! Whoa!
God damn it!
Wow!
God damn it!
Nothing accomplished yet. No, you're that.
You know what though?
Layne states he has spent over 6 figures, over $100,000 in legal fees towards trying to sue the laughingstock dumb shit of human society, Jason Blaha. Does that sound like someone who's smart? Spending 6 figures on a delusional fuck like Jason Blaha. Does that make financial sense to anyone? Spencer, you want to weigh in on that one? So just to wrap this up, Layne Norton is a fella who speaks a big game, but when confronted by anyone who knows what they're talking about, at least within the topic of nutrition, he flakes out because he knows he'll be made to look like a fool. And message to Spencer real quick, to you, Spencer, if you do get a chance to watch this, please get back in your lane if you want to refer to Layne as an expert, especially when it comes to the topic of nutrition. If you want to learn anything about nutrition, then I recommend that you read the peer-reviewed articles, the scientific articles on your own before latching on the words of a supposed expert like Layne Norton. You clearly don't know what you're talking about when it comes to health, and using someone like Layne as a resource rather than what the scientific literature states is just dangerous. So that's about it for now. Please let me know what you guys think in the comment sections down below. As you know, I love to engage with all of you. Please feel free to rate, subscribe, and hit the ding dong button if you haven't already. Please know that I appreciate every single one of you. I'm the Natural Hulkster. I want to thank you all for watching, and please stay tuned for the next one.